Welcome to Kung Fu Panda. This is a movie where the most powerful warrior in China is a guy whose biggest weakness is stairs. And somehow this works. So before Po becomes a legendary warrior, we start where all great heroes begin. Delusion. Because Po dreams he's the most powerful Kung Fu master alive. He's flipping around, beating villains, striking poses, the Furious Five are there, the crowd is cheering, it's peak main character energy. And then he wakes up. No Kung Fu, no glory, just noodles. And a very disappointed father who looks like he belongs on a soup. Po lives above his dad's noodle shop, which is already a strong sign that Destiny might have the wrong address. His dad wants him to inherit the family business, pass down the secret ingredient, live a peaceful noodle life. The dad is a goose, by the way. No one asks questions about how a goose could be the father of a panda, but I guess biology is also on vacation in this universe. Po, however, does not want peace. Po wants violence, but like respectful violence, with choreography. He's completely obsessed with Kung Fu. The Furious Five are basically celebrities to him. Tigress, Monkey, Crane, Viper, Mantis. Po probably knows their fighting stats better than their birthdays. He's basically a martial arts superfan who has posters of them on his wall that his dad tries not to look at. And today is a big day, because the Dragon Warrior is about to be chosen. The greatest fighter in the land. The only reason they need to choose the Dragon Warrior is that Wu had a vision that Tai Lung is gonna return. The most feared evil Kung Fu master there is. So Shifu sends a messenger duck to check on Tai Lung. This is perfect timing for Po, because he's absolutely not ready for any of that. So Po tries to get to the ceremony like a normal fan, which immediately fails. Because the Jade Palace is on top of a mountain designed to specifically filter out anyone who doesn't do cardio. He's running up the stairs, wheezing, sweating, questioning his life choices. Meanwhile, everyone else is just casually walking past him like it's their morning commute. And by the time Po finally arrives, the gate closes. He's locked out of the most important moment of his life because cardio exists and he had to carry his dad's noodle thingy. Naturally, instead of accepting this like a reasonable person, Po does what any future Dragon Warrior would do. At first, he just wanted to watch it from the outside, but then his big idea struck. He builds a chair and uses fireworks to get in. And so, he launches himself into the sky like a panda-shaped emergency signal. Inside the palace, Master Shifu is already stressed beyond repair. He's responsible for training the Furious Five. He takes Kung Fu extremely seriously, and today is supposed to confirm that all his hard work paid off. Because Master Wu, the ancient turtle and professional wisdom dispenser, is about to choose the Dragon Warrior. Wu speaks exclusively in fortune cookies, which is a great career path if you're too old to actually fight. The Furious Five step forward, each one looking like they were built in a lab specifically for this moment. Shifu is basically thinking, yes, one of these highly trained professionals will obviously be chosen. And then Po crashes onto the floor. Full chaos, Panda on the floor, perfect timing. Everyone is confused, and Po is just happy he made it inside without dying. And then, Uguay points his finger at Po. Silence, because this isn't an underdog story yet. It's just a massive administrative error. He broke into the palace and still got the benefit. This is a mistake. Shifu's brain stops working, the Furious Five are offended, even Po looks behind him like, you mean someone else, right? But Uguay doesn't change his mind. Just like that, Po, the guy whose main gratification is enthusiasm, becomes the Dragon Warrior. And the entire Kung Fu community collectively realizes they are in danger. So Po is officially the Dragon Warrior. Which sounds impressive until training starts, because the gap between Po and actually Kung Fu masters is not small, it's not medium, it's catastrophic. It's like putting a golden retriever in charge of a nuclear submarine. We get the classic line,
"There are no accidents."
Shifu then tries to run a normal training session and Po fails at everything. He can't kick without falling, can't punch without hurting himself, and can't even stand in a fighting stance without looking like he's waiting for a bus. Meanwhile, the Furious Five are watching this like a group project where one guy clearly didn't read the assignment. Tigress takes this especially personal because she trained her entire life for this moment. Shifu's teaching style switches from mentor to I want to delete this bear in about 5 minutes. He throws Po into drills that are clearly not designed for beginners. Obstacle courses, combat exercises, balance training, all things Po is uniquely unqualified for. Po gets launched across rooms, flattened by equipment, accidentally injures himself multiple times. It's less training and more a polite beating. And the worst part is, Po knows it. You can feel that everyone expected someone else. Every time he messes up, it just confirms what Shifu already believes. That Wu chose wrong. Even the Furious Five start talking behind his back. Po is basically living the nightmare scenario. Being chosen for something you wanted, and immediately realizing you're not ready. When he goes to sleep, the Five talk him down, and basically tell him that he sucks. While Po is busy questioning his life choices, the movie reminds us that there's an actually problem coming. Tai Lung. This isn't just some villain, this is Shifu's former student. The one who was supposed to be the Dragon Warrior before everything went wrong. They locked him in a prison designed like they're containing a literal demon from another dimension. Chained, suspended, surrounded by guards, the kind of security setup that exists specifically because everyone is terrified. Naturally, the messenger duck that Shifu sent dropped a single feather, and Tai Lung picks the lock with his tail, and he starts deleting the entire guard staff. The escape scene is one of the moments where you remember this movie is way more intense than it has any right to be. Tai Lung moves like someone who has been waiting years for this exact opportunity. Every guard, every weapon, every obstacle, none of it slows him down. He takes down an entire army by himself, uses chains as weapons to smack people around and dismantle defenses like he's playing a video game on easy mode. It's not chaotic fighting, it's controlled, precise, personal. And that's what makes it scary, because Tai Lung isn't trying to conquer the world, he's coming back for one thing, validation. The Dragon School, back at the Jade Palace. Shifu gets the news, and you can see the exact moment panic replaces denial. And then just out of nowhere, when you think it can't get worse, the movie pulls the emotional rock again, because Uguay is about to leave. Master Uguay senses that his time is over. He's calm about it, while Shifu is having a mental breakdown, because Uguay has been his guide for basically his entire life. The Furious Five decide to intercept Tai Lung before he reaches the valley. This is the best team of warriors they have, fully trained, confident, experienced, and they still get absolutely wrecked. This fight isn't even close. Tai Lung is faster, stronger, more focused. Every move they make, he already understands. They get injured, defeated, and suddenly the situation becomes very simple. The villain is real, the professionals failed, and the only warrior left is Po, which is a sentence nobody is comfortable hearing. Shifu tries training Po again. Same method, same results. Po struggles, gets distracted, and it looks like they're running out of time faster than Po is improving. And then Shifu notices something very important. Po will absolutely do anything for food. Not metaphorically, Po will literally risk his life for a snack. Every time food is involved, Po moves faster, reacts quicker, and suddenly the motivation problem disappears. It's not that Po is lazy, it's that traditional training doesn't speak his language. So Shifu changes strategy. Instead of forcing Po to fit Kung Fu, he adapts Kung Fu to Po. Training becomes a competition for over dumplings, balance exercises turn into snack challenges, and it works. Po starts moving differently. He's still clumsy, but now the clumsiness has momentum, and he uses his belly fat as a technical advantage. He reacts on instinct instead of overthinking. For the first time, Po doesn't look like someone pretending to be a warrior. He looks like someone learning his own style. Shifu has a realization that hits deeper than training. Po wasn't chosen because he could already do Kung Fu, he was chosen because he could become something different. The breakthrough isn't technique, it's understanding. Po doesn't need to fight like tigers, he needs to fight like Po. Shifu and Po return from their journey, and when they get back, the injured five also return, and report back to Shifu. He thinks it's over because if five masters can't defeat him, how could he? But then Shifu gives Po the dragon roll, and well, it's just empty, basically just a gold mirror. Well, they evacuate the city and Po is very disappointed in everything. Po still sees the Furious Five as better, and still sees Tai Lung as impossible. The closer the fight gets, the louder the doubt becomes. So Po decides he doesn't belong there after all. He goes back home. Back to the noodle shop. Then his dad doesn't talk about destiny, he talks about his soup. In his monologue about soup, he tells Po about the secret ingredient, the thing that's supposed to make the noodles special. And Mr. Ping reveals his secret. There is no secret ingredient. The soup is special because people believe it is. This is the movie's way of saying confidence is key, which is a great sentiment if you aren't about to fight an assassin that can punch through brick walls. But the realization lands. Maybe the power was never hidden. Maybe the belief is the power. Po finally understands what Uguay meant. Not that he's magically ready, but that waiting to feel ready was the mistake. So Po goes back, not because he suddenly became confident, but because he stopped waiting for permission. By the time Po returns to the Jade Palace, it's already too late to stop Tai Lung from arriving. Shifu confronts him first, and the fight feels less like hero versus villain and more like unresolved history finally exploding. Shifu fights well, but this isn't a fight he can win. Tai Lung knows his style, and more importantly, knows exactly what he wants. The Dragon Skull, the proof that everything he sacrificed meant something. But yeah, Shifu can't win, as he still sees the little kitten in Tai Lung, so he gets defeated. Tai Lung then notices that the scroll is gone, and this is the moment when Po finally gets up the stairs. When Tai Lung finally gets the scroll, there's this moment where the entire movie seems to pause. He opens the scroll, accepting power, technique, validation, something. Instead, it's blank, or at least it looks blank. The scroll is reflective, it shows whoever is holding it. Tai Lung can't accept it, because his entire identity depends on the idea that greatness is something granted. Po, though, sees something different. He remembers what his dad said about the soup. The scroll isn't empty, it's a mirror. The power was never something you receive, it's something you bring. That realization doesn't magically fix the situation. Tai Lung is still there, still stronger, still furious. But for the first time, Po isn't trying to become the Dragon Warrior. He just is. And that changes how he fights. Tai Lung is everything Kung Fu is supposed to be. Precise, efficient, controlled. Po fights like someone who fell into the fight by accident and decided to stay. And weirdly, that becomes his advantage. Tai Lung expects pattern. Instead, he gets unpredictability. Po bounces instead of blocking, improvises instead of planning. There's this moment where Tai Lung tries to use pressure points attacks, the same moves that works on everyone else. And they just don't land. Po just giggles, because his nerves are buried under 3 layers of fur and fat. For the first time, Tai Lung looks very confused. And confusion is something perfection doesn't handle well. Fight is just different, from Tai Lung overwhelming Po, to Po slowly disrupting Tai Lung. Not by being stronger, but by refusing to fight on Tai Lung's terms. Po isn't trying to prove he deserves the scroll anymore. He already accepted that the proof isn't external, that confidence changes everything. Eventually, Po lands the one move that has been teased the entire movie, the Wuxi finger hold. A technique treated like a myth, something so powerful that even saying it out loud makes people nervous. So Tai Lung doesn't believe Po will do it, because Tai Lung still thinks power belongs to the right person. Po doesn't argue, he doesn't explain, he just accepts the moment. Skadoosh. And just like that, the fight ends. Not because Po became perfect, but because he stopped trying to be. The valley is safe, Tai Lung is gone, and the respect is real now. The Furious Five don't suddenly change personalities, but the respect is real. Shifu changes the most. His entire journey was learning that control isn't the same as guidance. Watching Po succeed forces Shifu to let go of the idea that greatness follows one formula. For the first time, he looks calm. Po returns to the noodle shop, not as someone who escaped that life, but as someone who finally understands it. The noodles were never the opposite of Kung Fu. They were a part of the same idea, doing something fully, even if that something is just making lunch. Po is still Po, still loves food, still awkward. The difference is he no longer sees those things as disqualifications. That's Fu Panda, a movie about destiny, self-belief, and the very uncomfortable realization that sometimes there is no secret ingredient. You're just the person holding the scroll. Next up, iRobot. This movie basically shows us what happens when the AIs take over the planet. Yay! Well, yeah, that wraps up that awfully long movie. Hope you enjoyed and let me know what movie you want to see in the future. Alright, that's it for now. If you like this disaster of a recap, feel free to click some buttons, or don't. I'm not your dad, so that YouTube knows that my videos are worth watching. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.